So welcome back to the National Volleyball Centre here in Kettering as we continue our action this afternoon, the third match of the day. And it's the Super 8 women's final between Polonia, SideOut London and Team Northumbria. Teams then getting ready to make their way to the courts then, and it's promises to be a close match this. The teams having met 3 times already so far this season. The last time that neither of these two teams was in the final was back in the 2008-2009 season. So pretty dominant two teams in the sport contesting this final. Playing from right to left then this afternoon in the white top and black shorts, Polonia SideOut London. Playing from left to right in the black and pink top and the black shorts, Team Northumbria women. So the teams have played each other 3 times already so far this season. Polonia SideOut ended Team Northumbria's unbeaten run in December. Last time they lost was in March 2012, and guess what? That was to Polonia. Polonia won the double in 2011 but failed to make the final that year and were runners-up for the last 3 years. Polonia also won the National Cup back in April in a 5-set marathon. That was after being 13-6 down in the final sets. Polonia finished second in the table this season. They've only dropped 13 sets all season, and guess what? 5 of those being against Northumbria. Would not be surprised if this one goes to 5 sets. The first of 2 legs. The second leg will be contested tomorrow. Team Northumbria, though, themselves having a very good season, having only lost 1 game all season, and that was against Polonia. They've only dropped 8 sets so far this season, 5 of which, of course, though, coming against Polonia. So both teams having taken sets and indeed matches off each other so far this season. They finished top of the league for the 4th year in a row, so Team Northumbria understandably the favourites heading into this match. But the only team in the league to beat Polonia this season. 3 times they've played each other. 2 of those wins going to Northumbria, 1 of them going to Polonia. Polonia SideOut London's head coach then, Mark Kontopopoulos. Team Northumbria's head coach, David Goodchild. So the teams then, having just made their way out onto court, just to recap then, playing from right to left, playing in the white top with the black shorts, Polonia SideOut London, and their competition playing from left to right, the Team Northumbria women, who head into this match as slight favourites, but it doesn't mean that we're not in for a fantastic match. So Team Northumbria to start us off then, a serve coming in this final. That just long there by Georgiopoulos for Team Northumbria women, and it's Polonia who make the better of the stars. That's a smash a little bit too long there a little bit too powerful, shall I say, by Whitney Phillips. That gets Team Northumbria off the board then. It's going to be interesting to see how the early stages of this match pan out. Massive serve that. Referee calling a halt to play. I'm not quite sure what for. I think it was a ball on the court. We saw that happening in the last match, and it's a broken up play again in this match at the early stages. 1-1. Looks like it's a rotation area then by Polonia SideOut London. The serve had just gone straight into the net. Team Northumbria celebrating like they've just won the point. Still deliberating over what's happened here. Well, a let's been called, so the point will indeed be replayed. Well, only 2 points old this game, and we've already had a couple of contentious moments. Well, again, the referee having to intervene here, a foot fault being called. You're not allowed to cross the line whilst you're serving, and Whitney Phillips being punished. A bit of a stop-start beginning to this match, as both teams struggling to settle. Polonia SideOut London this time with the loose serve coming in from Katja Gless. 2-2 the score. And it's been very stop-start this. And a nice drop shot serve then, coming in from Katie O'Brien for Team Northumbria Women. And Rob, it's been a very stop-start beginning to this match.
Yeah, it's not quite the barnstorming start we were expecting from these two sides. I mean, partly through fault of their own, but partly through a bit of sort of officiating where, you know, it's a big occasion for everybody out there, to be honest. The two-legged Super 8s final, it's the culmination of a long season. So maybe just a bit too much tension to start off with, but we're expecting things to settle down and the players to get into their groove sooner rather than later.
Pick that one out. Kendra Abron with the smash there, and Team Northumbria, I would suggest maybe settling slightly quicker than Polonia SideOut London. That serve looked to be heading out, but it's been kept in play.
Good hitting by the captain, Hristiana Kaleva. She'll be a useful outlet for them on the wing. Started very wide. Kaya Cannavaro did exceptionally well to get it up for a captain. And then Cannavaro with the service error. Cannavaro actually sat out the under-18 Grand Prix final earlier on today between Graveney and Mallory Eagles and Wessex Leaf. She was named amongst the playing squad for Graveney and Mallory Eagles, but wanted to save herself for the grueling two-legged Super 8s final. Her side lost in straight sets to Wessex.
We could see a total of, well, essentially 10.5 sets, couldn't we? If you think about it, it could go to 5 sets in this first leg. It could go to 5 sets in the second leg. And if the honours are shared after that, then we'll have a tie-break at the end, which is first to 15. So
the golden set.
The golden set. So nothing is going to be decided early on, that's for sure. As both teams are matching each other at the moment, and it's a very close start. Rob's prediction before this was that it will go to 5 sets. I feel like I agree with you on this one, actually, Rob. It's looking very close, and judging by their results prior to this in the season, we could well be in for a 5-setter here.
Exactly, yeah. 3-2 all the way through. 2 in favour of Polonia, 1 in favour of Team Northumbria. I wouldn't be surprised if Team Northumbria have a bit of payback here from the defeat in the National Cup final. Reverse set from Cannavaro. But Katia Gless found her way completely shut out, and we're into the first technical timeout here in the first leg of this Super 8s women's final. 8-5, Team Northumbria taking early advantage. Christina Dorismond, who made a massive difference in the Super 8s final last year. She missed this match last year through injury, but recovered sufficiently for the second leg of the final. And ultimately guided her side to victory. She'll be pleased to be playing in both this weekend.
And that looked like it clipped the net, and I think that's what the line judge was given. I'll tell you what, the temperature in this building has gone up a notch as more and more people pile their way in.
Just that big hole in the centre of the court there, and perfectly picked out. Just opened up there. Good pass by Dorismond to set it up. Alex Wolsey, the MVP from the National Cup final, teeing up the pipe attack for Samantha Sharmak, who made absolutely no mistake. Very positive start from Team Northumbria.
One thing you might notice if you've been watching our coverage throughout the day is how much quicker these matches go by with the women's. A lot more powerful, and they seem to have less rallies. 10-6 score. Well, just as I say that, it's been pretty much the longest point of the match so far. But in the end, it's a big hit by Whitney Phillips for Team Northumbria that gets the job done. 11-6 the score then. And it's Team Northumbria that have taken the early advantage, but Polonia SideOut London are definitely not showing any signs of going away. Just 4 points in it.
Polonia closing the gap here, just 3 points in it now, as their supporters club make a noisy entrance into the National Volleyball Centre here in Kettering. As we've come to expect, the drums are out in force, as are the voices, and it's another point for their women's team. The gap shortened to just 2 points now. Atmosphere cranking up a bit here in Kettering.
Did they not realise the match had started then, or did they just like their dramatic entrances?
They like people to know that they're here. If they started the match sat in the stands, nobody would notice them because they're not loud enough.
I was going to say, I don't think there's any worry of that happening.
Timeout called by Team Northumbria because Polonia have clawed the gap back here. It was 10-5 at one point. The gap now just a single point at 11-10. Good spell of points in a row. Good swing of momentum from Polonia early on. And I think that's something that we'll see throughout this match, James, is that you'll think for 5 or 10 points that one side's on top, and then all of a sudden something will happen, something will switch, a run of points in the opposite direction, and they'll be back on level terms just as quickly as that.
Yeah, because at this level of volleyball, teams seem to go on little runs, don't they? It's less so much about winning the odd couple of points, it's about building up a bit of momentum, and that's what we're seeing in the early stage of this match. Northumbria with a little run, now Polonia with a little run themselves. And indeed, they draw level. I think there was perhaps contact with the net there. Well, it looked like it was possibly going out then, but Karolina Tezkarczyk did her best to try and get something on it, but in the end, conceding the point.
Big serve by Whitney Phillips, but too big from the captain.
And you can just see the substitutes in the back right of your shot there, all celebrating. This is very much a team effort, isn't it? There may only be 8 players out in the court, but those substitutes in the corner are very well and truly a part of this team, even if they're not playing themselves.
Yeah, great reverse set by Gaia Cannavaro. She will pull the strings all day long for Polonia. Just see here, stepping in, reverse set, and it was polished off.
I wish we had a fan group like that.
We are not worthy. Yeah, it's good in the block. Katie O'Brien was in there for Team Northumbria.
Absolutely nothing to separate the two teams at the moment. We talk about the importance of getting to technical timeouts with a slight advantage. Well, we're only 3 points away from that potentially now.
Free point for Team Northumbria. Quick attack through the middle. Really well executed that. Made the most of it. The Polonia Supporters Club has just arrived behind us in the gantry here with a bag full of flags and scarves.
Not quite as loud, perhaps, as the drums, but I'm sure that there's going to have something to make a bit of noise with.
Down the line it goes from Kaleva. She was looking for a touch on its way through. It didn't get one. So Team Northumbria creeping towards the first technical timeout here. 2 points in front. But this time Kaleva does get the touch off the block. Cross court she went this time, changing it up from a down the line attack last time. Off the fingertips of Dorismund and Abron. Good deep serve to put Northumbria under pressure. Good reach by Dorismund. Abron's power hitting comes down off the Polonia block, but the decision goes Team Northumbria's way. Looked like it dropped down and landed in, but that wasn't the decision. So the second technical timeout, Team Northumbria still lead. It's a narrow advantage though at 16-14.
Well, as Rob pointed out, Polonia's a section of their fan group have come up onto the gantry up here to be attaching fans, and I suggested that they might have something to make a bit of noise with too. Turns out their voices are loud enough as they chant from the gantry. great effort and commitment from them. So, team Northumbria women to get us going again. 16-14 the score after the second technical timeout.
Phillips gets it off the block. Team Northumbria back into a 3-point lead. And after Polonia did so well to close the gap, Northumbria just made sure they edged themselves back in front again.
Yeah, Northumbria with the slight edge in this match at the moment.
Another great serve by Sharmak. Good defense from her as well. And she leaves that one to fly out the back of the court. Great point by Sam Sharmak, all on her own, really. Yeah, Mark Kontopoulos calling a timeout for Polonia SideOut London. Just noticing that Sharmak had put together a handy run of points there for Northumbria to re-establish.
Yeah, it's a good time to maybe point that out and say, look, come on, guys. We need to get on top of this. It's only 4 points at the minute, but every point now really is going to be crucial for them if they want to stay in this first set.
Just a reminder, hashtag Super816 is the way to get in contact with us on Twitter. Michelle Woolsey has tweeted, looking forward to watching the volleyball. Go Team Northumbria. Michelle tweeting from Texas, as usual, supporting Alex Woolsey. And your support all the way from Texas, Michelle, actually inspired Alex to get MVP in the National Cup finals. May have heard the Polonia fan club shouting Polonia down my microphone just then.
As if we couldn't hear them already.
They don't need microphones, absolutely not.
Really have got a good support, Polonia, here.
Can Sharmak keep this run of service going? Not now. Polonia finally end that run from Sharmak. And it's time to turn this around and build a run of points of their own in response. And their captain, Christiana Kaleva, is the one with that duty.
And that's right, all that noise is coming from that little small group of men there.
Good reaction from Cannavaro to keep it alive. Kaleva just has to put it back over. Dorisman come in. Did that catch the line? Not quite.
Well, Katie O'Brien has certainly been a force in the middle. It's fine margins, isn't it? And that just going wide of the line, and Polonia now just 2 points behind. A good little run of points this. This time it's Christina Dorismond with the attempted block. Just slipping through her fingers though. It's now 4 points in a row for Polonia. And a timeout has been called. Probably, I would imagine, by Team Northumbria, because they've been under the cosh for these last few points, so perhaps a bit of time to reassess things and maybe make a couple of changes.
Time to go back over to Twitter, hashtag Super816. Callum Curry says, watching the Super 816 on the wall today, hashtag TN Army. Another Team Northumbria supporter has tweeted us a picture of a projector on a wall. Nice and big
Very
screen
nice
for you. I hope you've got us on surround sound as well and you can hear our dulcet tones loudly and clearly, Callum. Thanks very much for tweeting. Hashtag Super816 is the way to get involved in the conversation.
Well, I'll make that a 5th consecutive point now for Polonia. They were trailing 20-15. It's now 20 all. Very little in this final Super 8-16 women's final. Polonia v Team Northumbria.
And there's a handling error in there by Team Northumbria, and Polonia off the back of the Kaleva serve. As you say, James, now that's 6 points in a row. Swung it round from 15-20 behind to 21-20 in front, and just 4 points short of the winning line in this first set.
How long can this run keep going for? Well, that answers your question, doesn't it? Number 14, Maria Georgiopoulos. The Team Northumbria libero, I think it was. No, it wouldn't have been her, will it? It will have been number 10, Christina Dorismond, winning the point there. Will we see a shift in momentum once again? 21 all the score at the moment. No, we don't. The ball plucks to the back of the courts. Polonia with the point. So we watched it again. It was indeed Katia Gles with the point. Just 3 points away from the first set now, Polonia, and they definitely have the momentum at the moment. 7 of the last 8 points have gone their way. Make that 8.
Mistake on the pass by Whitney Phillips. Just didn't give any of her teammates a chance of getting to the second ball.
Yeah, we're gonna have to hold play there because of a ball being rolled across. Second time that's happened in this match so far. They've got to be careful with that. Wow, Polonia have certainly turned up the heat when it matters, haven't they? 20-15 down, now 24-21, 9 up. 3 set points heading their way. Well, that's 1 set point saved by Team Northumbria. And they're hanging in there.
Katie O'Brien finding a gap between the two middle blockers there. Vaidova and Marta Campi, I think the two teaming up for Polonia SideOut London, just not tight enough together.
Made that 2 set points saved. Katie O'Brien again getting up this time to make the block. Timeout understandably called.
Mark Kontopoulos will not want to see this first set slip away from his side's reach. 2 set points they've squandered. They still have a third here, leading by a point. But it's now Team Northumbria who have got a bit of a momentum swing, couple of points in a row. We said that would be key, just picking up little runs of points at key times of the match. And Jodie Gregson will serve to save a third set point in a row for Team Northumbria.
We said this was going to be close. Certainly been the case in this first set.
But Polonia do eventually get their third set point taken. 25-23, they take the first set. A remarkable turnaround from 5 points behind to take the early initiative in the first game of this Super 8's women's final. They trailed 5-8 and 14-16 at the 2 technical timeouts. But at one point the gap, as we say, was a 5-point swing in Team Northumbria's favour.
So out those last, 13 odd points I think it was. Polonia won 10 of them. How's that for a good run of points? So Team Northumbria, the favourites really heading into this match. Maybe only fractional favourites, but it's Polonia that have taken this first set. And it's been very close, isn't it? 25-23 the score after that first set. Team Northumbria taking an early advantage. Polonia ending the set well. Their fans as loud as ever. Drums, klaxons, chants, wherever they can make noise with, they're making it. Second set to begin in a few moments. So the Team Northumbria coach then just taking a bit of time to have a chat to our players and maybe point out a few of the mistakes they've made, because they were in a very commanding position. 20-15 it was at one point in that last set. And they could be not particularly disappointed by their performance. Perhaps lost momentum a bit towards the end, but sure they'll come back fighting in their second set. As the 6 players on both teams lining up then. Looking to resume this second set in the next couple of moments. Polonia high-fiving each other. Unsurprisingly, they're happier of the two teams at the moment, but Team Northumbria don't look too crestfallen at the moment. So, Polonia looking to get things going again. Alexandra Vajdova will serve. They take the first set lead. Their coach, Mark Gontapur, is standing on the side there, gearing up his girls. The fans gearing up their team. Momentum then with Polonia at the moment. Let's see what happens in the second set. That serve long. Team Northumbria will take that. And they get the first point of this second set. Well, looked like a double touch. The referee indicates 2 fingers. So, Team Northumbria then taking the early initiative with a 2-point lead. That's a fantastic block there by Katie O'Brien. She's done that a few times already today, getting her body in the way, getting her arms up in the air. No way past me, mate. 3-0 then to Northumbria. Well, this is a positive start by Northumbria. Absolutely all over Polonia at the moment, and it all came from that long serve, the momentum changing just like that.
Perfect set from Gregson there, and you just see Whitney Phillips is a terrific hitter of the ball. O'Brien and Abron unable to form that rock-solid block that we saw a couple of points ago this time.
We're going to see Polonia hit back with a little run of points here.
The deep serve made it difficult for Phillips to deal with, but her teammates rallied in and under the net to finish the point straight back. It's not the most powerful from Katia Gles, but it's a deadly accurate left arm. They're coming in from the backcourt out wide. Dropped it too tight in front of Whitney Phillips. Both sides trying the quick set and the attack through the middle, and it's Northumbria who gain an advantage from it.
Well, it's all going the way of Northumbria at the moment. Polonia, we know, will stage a comeback at some point, but it's just how far into the lead Northumbria are before that happens.
Good pass from Jodie Gregson. Phillips, the pipe attack. Who can finish this point off? Can Abron? No, she can't.
She didn't just quite time her jump then, did she? Set up into the air, and there's plenty of time, but not getting any height and hitting the ball downwards and just smashing straight into the nets.
First technical timeout then in this second set. Team Northumbria leading, but don't be fooled because they were 8-5 up at the first technical timeout in the first set and went on to lose it. But this gap now 5 points. Again, a blistering start from the team from the northeast, but they'll be very much wary of the fact that Polonia came right back at them in that first set.
Maybe they can learn a thing or two about that and sort of try and perhaps preempt that strike back from Polonia. They're going to know it's going to be coming and maybe anticipate something a little bit later in the set. Like we said, we expect Polonia to hit back at some point. It's just how far Northumbria are in the lead when that happens. At the moment, it's just 5 points, so anything can happen.
More Polonia supporters are arriving by the second. Their men's head coach Vangelis is in the building too. Remember, the first leg of the men's Super 8s final follows this. It's also Polonia versus Team Northumbria. This is all getting a bit scrappy, but it's gone the way of Polonia. Interesting point.
They did well to keep that going there. The ball bouncing off the net, as you're about to see on the replay maybe a couple of times. Scrappy, the right word to use there. It just sort of drops, hit into the net.
All about doing whatever you can to keep that ball off the floor.
Iron at number 8 in the centre there. Almost looked like she gave up on the point of the one, but just thought, right, get out of the way. It worked though. Gap just 5 points again. Yeah, I did think that she perhaps made contact with the net there. Christina Dorismond. It was either contact with the net or her hand was indeed over the Polonia side of the court, but one way or another, the point has gone against Team Northumbria.
Yeah, good work from Cannavaro. Had to go right up to the net to make the set. Just see here, the pass really tight to the net, but Cannavaro set it nice and short through the middle. And it was polished off by Kaleva. Well, it was clever first time round for Dorismond, but when it came straight back at her, she couldn't quite put it back over again herself. Reverse set from Gregson. Dorismond tipped it over the block. Great defense from Oyeroni. And Dorismond couldn't quite reach it.
Well, we said that Polonia would come back into this at some point, and that seems to be the case. Timeout called as the Team Northumbria coaching staff probably can see what's happening and see that, you know, there's mistakes being made by Team Northumbria, and it's time to maybe make a change or two and suggest a few different things that they can do to stop this comeback in its tracks.
It's another perfect pass from Whitney Phillips right on top of the setter Jodie Gregson, which means that she has all the options because she doesn't need to readjust. And it's finished off first time by Team Northumbria. Her captain Phillips is renowned for her hitting, but her passing has been on point so far. But Polonia's team, rather like their fan club, just will not keep quiet. They will not go away. And we talked about Phillips's passing, and there's the hitting. From outside, her favourite position on the volleyball court, you'd have to say. A couple of steps and a leap. Nothing Karolina Tokarczyk can do. Vajdova finds a way inside the block for Polonia, so the gap closes to just 2 points now. As Vajdova comes back to serve for the recently crowned National Cup champions, bidding for an historic double. But it's just trading blows at the moment. Each time the gap stretches, it closes. Nothing really to choose between these two sides in the last 5 or 6 points. That was behind Abron. She did well to reach it and put some pressure on as she put it back over. But there's Phillips again.
Pick that one out. Whitney Phillips with a captain smash down the middle. And you might have heard the connection there, the whack as the contact's made with the ball. Interesting formation they've got here, Team Northumbria.
Gregson's serve comes off the aerial down the line. So puts the ball back in the hands of Polonia. Marta Campi, still the gap, 3 points. Polonia not quite able to close within touching distance of Northumbria in this second set. And it's mainly due to Whitney Phillips. Some great defensive work a few points ago. 3 kills she's had now in the last handful of points as well. Straight down the line, touch off the block.
Well, both teams seem to have settled into a rhythm now. She's got away with that one, hasn't she?
When it's going your way.
It is going your way indeed, yeah. Whitney Phillips with the serve, it makes contact with the net, drops it into the court. No one's expecting that. Northumbria have a 5-point lead, which, can I remind you, they've had for the best part of this match so far. Apart from at the end of the last set when it counted most, but Iarone with the smash then.
Yeah, screen for it. Knew she was going to get it off of Canavari. Pipe attack this time from Phillips, but Polonia equal to it. Over it goes for Abron to try her luck. Down off the inside of the block. Second technical timeout we're in now. Team Northumbria ahead by 16 points to 12. It's a 2-point greater advantage than they had at this stage in the first set. 16-14 the score this time last set. But we know that Polonia had a very strong final third of the first set and took it 25-23, so Northumbria will be well aware of that. Dave Goodchild there just giving out some instructions to his setter, Jody Gregson. We've got Maz Bertelli on the Team Northumbria bench as well, giving some tips, a former Team GB player. We've had the pleasure of her company on live streams here at the National Volleyball Centre in the past as well. So just a brief pause while the second referee, Katerina Chepanova, just making sure that the players are in the right places and who's on the court should be. And Polonia take the first point out of the second technical timeout, an important one. And back goes the captain Kaleva to serve. Huge toss and plenty of purchase on it as well. Phillips equal to it. Quick set by Gregson. And running straight towards it, Christina Dorisman. Really nicely put together.
Well, it certainly seems like Northumbria women have controlled the second set. But not with points like that. Curse the commentator. That was a loose serve then. And sadly winning the point and then giving it away straight away again. 3 points to deficit. This is the point where we really start to see Polonia growing back into this in the last set. 2015 was a score at that point, 17-14 now. We know they finished strongly. Oh, that's fantastic defense from the back of the court then by Team Northumbria. And as you often see in those kind of points, it turns out to be the crucial point that's crucial point of the rally that's won them the point.
Great court coverage by Samantha Sharmak. That ball looked dead and buried, but flying out on her stomach. Right-handed, one-handed pickup. Gregson and Dorisman trying to team up again. They thought they got the point this time, so did Coach Dave Goodchild. But nothing off the block, says the second referee, Katerina Chepanova.
That's clever play, isn't it? They're maintaining this 4-point gap, and although both teams trading points at the moment, it's Northumbria who have kept the momentum going in this second set.
Yeah, they've just built a lead and kept it, haven't they? Can Polonia find another turnaround? Not with Whitney Phillips and Katie O'Brien in the way at the block. They can't. And the timeout called by Mark Kontopoulos on the Polonia SideOut London bench. 5 points the difference. They turn around a 5-point deficit in the first set, though, although it was a bit earlier on in that set.
Well, no, I think it was actually 2015, wasn't it? 2015 in the first set to Northumbria. It was at this point that Polonia really stepped things up and turned things round, winning 10 of the last 13 points. 25-23 it finished. So we're at exactly the same point we were in the first set, but Team Northumbria, you kind of feel like they're playing a bit better and maybe aware of the threat that Polonia pose from this position. They need to make sure this serve is accurate. They don't want to throw this point away. Well, Polonia then winning the first point after that timeout. Could this be the turnaround point again? Wow, that's uncharismatic of Polonia's serving so far in this match. As the substitution is made. And Soundheist is the player to go off. Well, a bit of a grimace on the face of Jodie Gregson there. If only you could do that every time, Jodie, hey? 6 points the difference then. Northumbria just 3 points away from taking this second set. Another timeout called. Coach saying, look, you're lucky there. It's a 6 point lead, but it could only be a 4 point lead had that serve of not trickled over the net.
Just 3 points needed then for Team Northumbria women to level this Super 8s final at 1 set apiece. Remember, this just the first of 2 matches in this contest, the second coming tomorrow afternoon here at the National Volleyball Centre in Kettering. Great work again from the libero, Georgiapoulou. An infringement at the net from Team Northumbria. Just another brief delay while one of our court moppers was caught daydreaming.
Daydripping. Quite the opposite, hopefully.
Dripping with sweat on the court because it is getting warm in here.
It certainly is.
Katie O'Brien just catching that one in her palm as she tried to shove it back over the net. 2 points in a row out of the timeout for Polonia SideOut London. Just want to try and jangle Team Northumbria's nerves. It's a great serve to do it with as well and put straight back down with meaning from Kaleva. All of a sudden, that gap is disappearing.
Just 3 points in it now, and we know that Polonia are good at the business end of the set. Surely they can't do it twice in a row, can they? We'll find out in the next few moments.
There's certainly a team and a club that are renowned for their togetherness, their team spirit. They showed that on National Cup Finals weekend at the beginning of April. Can they show that in this particular set of this Super 8's final?
Well, that's the beauty of being so close to winning the set. You just need to take the odd points when they come your way, and sometimes that can be enough. It wasn't in the last set for Northumbria, but they're now only 2 points away from claiming the second set. Polonia hanging in there, though. That's a clever shot, but kept out.
Some great defense by both teams. Koleva tried to go tight across the net, too tight the angle, and Northumbria have a good cluster of set points here.
Both liberos playing an important part there, and you rightly say a very tight angle there for Kristina Koleva to attempt to try and get the angle right. And that's that. The end then of the second set, 25-19. Better stuff that from Northumbria. A slight wobble towards the end of the set. They were 20-15 up. It came back to 22-19, I think it was at one point, but getting the job done in the end, and it's one set apiece.
Remember to stay in touch with us wherever you're watching this live stream this afternoon. You can tweet us using the hashtag Super816. Send your tweets to @VBallEngland for various other social media updates. Facebook.com/VolleyballEngland and search Volleyball England on Instagram to keep across all the action. If you're unable to be here with us at the National Volleyball Centre in Kettering, finally poised in this Women's Super 8s final. Polonia SideOut London took the first set 25-23, but Team Northumbria hit back with a vengeance. 25-19 they took the second set. Pepe Marquez has sent us a tweet using the hashtag Super816 saying Wit is on fire in the second set. Go on hashtag TN Army. Another Team Northumbria supporter there, Pepe Marquez, saying that Whitney Phillips was on fire in that second set, and she certainly was, and she was a main contributor to Team Northumbria leveling this match.
Well, Northumbria maintaining that early momentum that they have taken from the second set, should I say. And actually, they've been the stronger of the two teams fairly consistently, bar the end of that first set when they had a bit of a wobble. They've been dictating a lot of the points, and it's now really over to Polonia to try and restore that momentum in their direction. Well, a little bit of confusion amongst the ranks there. Katie O'Brien having to think on her feet a little bit, chucking her arm up in the air and not managing to direct the ball back onto the court. Polonia taking advantage of the mix-up. Redeeming herself instantly though, with the smash at the front of the court then. Set then by Jodie Gregson. Katie O'Brien with the smash. Team Northumbria with a 2-point lead. Well, the point goes away over Northumbria again. A technical fault by Polonia. Northumbria building a bit of a lead in this third set. Fairly comfortably 4 points ahead now. Well, a very successful service spell by captain Whitney Phillips. Draws to a close then, over to Christina Kolova. That's a fantastic block right at the front there by Katie O'Brien. She's been doing that all match long. Nothing gets past her, does it? The set in the air then by Karolina Tuskaszek. For Polonia. Katie O'Brien winning back the serve then. Two hits then by Polonia. And we go into the first technical timeout with Northumbria 8 points ahead to 3. And they've managed to keep that momentum going. I said pre-match they were the favourites, and I think they're proving why. They are dictating points. Like I said, other than that blip at the end of the first set, they've really kept control. They've got a 5-point lead now, heading into the first technical timeout. Polonia head coach Mark Kotopoulos trying to figure out what's going wrong. Those Polonia fans will not be put down though, will they? They will carry on drumming and chanting, you'd imagine, no matter what the result. Well, that's the kind of reaction that Polonia will need if they're to get their way back into this third set. Kept alive then by Jodie Gregson. Chaos between the two teams at the moment. But eventually, the point going the way of Northumbria women. A very closely contested rally that was. Well, Northumbria continuing that momentum. 6 points to lead now. Team Northumbria in the black and pink tops, serving from left to right. Oh, that's good stuff there from Polonia. Captain Kristina Kolova taking a ball to the face from the serve. That clearly hurt, didn't it? But she managed to keep going. The smash in the end by Alexandra Vadova. Well, they're certainly edging their way back into this third set, Polonia. A great block at the front there by Alexandra Vajova. But that one going long then for Team Northumbria. The point deficit now just down to 2 points. It was at 6 points. Now it's at 2 points. Polonia are reasoning their way back in.
No surprises then. A timeout called by Team Northumbria head coach David Goodchild. I mean, effectively you can issue tactical instructions at any time during the match from the sideline, but there are fewer opportunities to try and break up rhythm and try and halt runs of momentum and runs of points. So it tends to be when you see timeouts utilised the most is when a coach needs to try and have an impact on that run of points or that run of momentum.
So, Polonia to get back going again. Yolanda Soudheist. It's got to go over this time. And there you have it. Samantha Schmalmack with the smash. A bit more nervy this third set. Neither team wanting to give away silly points.
Just won't lie down, will they, Polonia? Just will not lie down. Reverse set from Cannavaro. Eventually down by Campi off of the despairing lunge of Kindra Abram. Defense from Tokacic. Polonia were already celebrating there with Kaleva's block, but it's Team Northumbria that celebrate winning the point. Polonia thought they'd done enough there through Kaleva. Somehow it popped back up for Northumbria to have another go cross court past Tokacic.
A slight lapse in concentration this perhaps from Polonia. Kristina Kaleva with the big hit at the front of the court, and it's gone long, and a couple of cheap points given away.
Service error from Christina Dorismond means that Polonia stay in touch. Marta Campi next to serve for the London-based side. Northumbria doing everything they can to get it back over, and back over it comes. And then pushed long by Kaleva, who's not particularly pleased with herself.
Isn't that often the way when your team's scrambling to keep the point active? It then pressurises the opponent into feeling like they should finish the point off, and often mistakes are made. A 4-point advantage, and we're just 2 points away from the second technical timeout, and Northumbria currently, I wouldn't say controlling the set, but they're on the ascendancy, that's for sure. Fantastic serve that, isn't it, by number 9, Jodie Gregson. This is a good little streak, this.
Huge leap from Ioroni. And when she's that high in the air, it comes straight back down off of her right hand, but the decision has actually been given Team Northumbria's way. And we're into the second technical timeout at 16-10 Team Northumbria. An inquest going on amongst the Polonia players there.
Well, they're not happy, are they?
No, it looked to be a clean kill by Verera Ioroni. Maybe she must have possibly made an infringement at the net. Kontopoulos is absolutely livid on the sideline there. You see him remonstrating with our first referee, Joseph Gore. But the fact of the matter is that it's a 6-point gap in favour of Team Northumbria at the second technical timeout. Polonia need the backing of each and every single one of their fan club members there. All about putting that last point out of their mind now for Polonia.
Well, I think this is the biggest gap we've seen between either of these two sides at any point during this match. Northumbria just getting the job done at the moment, aren't they? They're being very consistent, very decisive on the court, and it's working in their favour. 7 points to the good. They are the team on ascendancy. Perhaps they felt hard done by to have lost that first set, and since then they've really kicked on and controlled this match.
It's been a strong run of points on the service of Jodie Gregson. Better pass for Polonia, and Cannavaro just switching it up there. Northumbria are equal to it, but then Abram pushes it deep cross court. Finally, Polonia have a point on the board, and more importantly, have Gregson off of serve.
Kindra a bit heavy there with that shot, and you're right there, Rob. They're going to be pleased to have changed the service around, and that's a nice serve. It's a drop serve. They weren't expecting it. Samantha Sharmach doing everything she can to get on the end of that.
Gaia Cannavaro does have a very good service game in her locker, as well as being the setter that controls the plays for Polonia. If there was anybody they wanted to get a run of points off of serve, it's Cannavaro.
I wouldn't be surprised if we see another timeout at some point, because Polonia are on a bit of a run here. No, there's no getting to that. Useful point to get that one. Maintaining that 5-point lead. A couple more points and the pressure's going to start to lift. Lovely stuff there by Iorone.
There's a couple of times she's had some joy, but just getting in tight to Cannavaro, pops it straight up above her head. That was the point they thought they'd won before the second technical timeout there. Ace service from Katarina Puchinska. Northumbria let it fly cross court. Caught the line. Surely not another turnaround for Polonia here.
Well, they've put it back to 3 points, haven't they? It was 7 points a moment ago, 17-10. Now it's 18-15. Kept alive well then by Northumbria. Fantastic stuff. And they've just reduced the deficit to 2 points now. It is anyone's game. A good run this by Polonia. I'm surprised we haven't heard the timeout buzzer. There we go, it's come just there. Well, Polonia well and truly back in this now.
It's a look of steely determination on the faces of Polonia. Normally big smiles, but they're well focused on this heroic looking comeback attempt. It's not quite complete yet, but they're within 2 points of it. There we see, filling up all the time the main stand here at the National Volleyball Centre in Kettering. Plenty of support for both teams, although Polonia's might be the loudest because of the size of their drums. Northumbria have certainly got plenty of backers as well in the grandstand in front of us. Pluchinska has hauled Polonia back into it with a couple of decent serves in a row. Free point for Polonia if they can take it. Cannavaro sets it wide, and it comes back off the Northumbria block, and Polonia are back within a point.
Well, we talk about momentum, don't we? And this has been a fantastic turnaround by Polonia. 17-10 the score was at one point. So the last 8 points, Polonia have 7. And they do have a tendency to go on these little runs. Never count them off. fault was that perchance?
I think it caught the aerial from Plachinska on the way through.
Well, it was a good run, but Northumbria still with a 2-point lead. Let's see what Jodie Gregson could do. Momentum has well and truly shifted, doesn't it?
Service substitution for Polonia as Bukova comes on to replace Ferreira Oyeroni.
Can't be easy coming straight on and serving. Yeah, that's the way to do it, isn't it?
Paige Fullerton back there to serve for Team Northumbria. 5 points away from a 2-1 lead. She has got
well
far
wide.
too much on that.
It's closer to the subs bench than it was the edge of the court.
So change in the setter for Polonia. Cannavaro comes off. Mahandas is on. Just a point in it. And level at 1 set each. Dorismond again for Team Northumbria. She's been excellent so far.
Gaia Cannavaro, the substitution coming on then for Polonia. Well, since that little run by Polonia where they got 7 in 8, things have balanced out a little bit, haven't they? Northumbria have consolidated.
Phillips blocking solo there for her side, Northumbria. I'll tell you, the feeling that volleyball players get after a big block, particularly on their own, is equal, if not greater, than a huge spike, a huge kill.
Another wasted serve, though. They're going to be disappointed at that. That's twice in the last 3 or 4 points that they've wasted serves. Hopefully, for their sake, that won't come back to haunt them.
Mistake on the pass by Sharmak, and Fullerton's come through and absolutely clattered a couple of the advertising boards. Rare mistake by Sharmak, who I think has been one of the standout performers for Team Northumbria in this final so far. Polonia are back within a point here.
Well, they're winning the points when they really, really matter, aren't they? Christina Dorismond, I believe that was, with the smash then.
Yeah, and the transition between the two setters, Team Northumbria, has been seamless. Jodie Gregson has set for much of this match so far, but Alex Wolsey, who I mentioned earlier was the MVP in the National Cup final, she's the setter now for Northumbria, and she's dictating play just as well. So good for Dave Goodchild to have 2 setters like that in his locker. And again, Wolsey sets up another kill, and it's set point Northumbria, 24-21.
One saved by Polonia. We know that they can come back.
Yeah, just a lifting action indicated there by our first referee, Joseph Gore. A foul by Team Northumbria. 2 set points in a row saved by Polonia.
This is the one, isn't it? Crucial point for both teams, this. So fine the margins in this match so far. And another set point saved by Polonia to bring the scores to 24 all. Northumbria's libero unable to save the day there. 3 set points saved. Never write off this Polonia team. 24 all, 1 set all. Not a single point to separate the two teams at the moment.
Didn't get a touch on the block from Phillips, and all of a sudden Polonia, having saved 3 set points, have now created one of their own. This would be some turnaround.
Would you believe it? I'm not sure the Polonia fans have noticed. Talk of the Devils. Well, it's just one of those sets, isn't it? 25 all, there is absolutely nothing to separate these two sides at the moment.
Marta Campi, although she was in the right place, would have done exceptionally well to take the sting out of that cross-court hit from Whitney Phillips. Jodie Gregson, we've seen how well she can serve in this final. Again, it's Kaleva, though, the Polonia captain. So often the go-to player. Second set point for Polonia now.
Let's see what resolve Team Northumbria have got. Here we go then. And that's it. Polonia have done it. A fantastic turnaround. 24-21 the score. They then win, well, 6 of the next 7 points to completely turn this set on its head, to turn this match on its head. 2-1 to Polonia. And they're in control, Rob.
Of course it was Christiana Kaleva as well. Such good hitting from her to score the points needed to save the set points for Polonia. And then she pops up on the opposite side of the court in the block to put it straight back down at Whitney Phillips' feet and say, look, I am the captain on this court. 27-25, Polonia SideOut London take the 3rd set. After another terrific turnaround, they lead 2-1 in this Women's Super 8s final. Don't forget, while we're having a quick turnaround between sets, to send us your tweets to hashtag Super816 at VBall England. Who you're supporting, where you are watching this thrilling final from. And remember, this is just the first leg of the final. The second match to come tomorrow. And we've still got the first leg of the men's final to come here on day 1 of Super 8's finals weekend.
So in case you're interested in what all the noise is going on behind us, they're currently having a air guitar battle in the crowd at the moment, and the prize being a mini volleyball. So various mini volleyball games going on in the crowd at the moment. We've got the players warming up on either side of the pitches as both teams begin to make their way back towards the courts. It's Polonia with the 2-1 set advantage at the moment. Team Northumbria will be kicking themselves though, because they had a 3 set point lead in that second set. They were in complete control. Very much a similar story in the first set, not quite a 3 set point lead, but they were in control. And Polonia just have this habit of getting themselves back into these games. Whether it's Team Northumbria who are bottling it at the vital points, but there's no... We've got to give credit to Polonia here. They've really kept battling and they've got their dues.
So hitting from right to left in your picture there in this fourth set, Team Northumbria. But serving first and hitting from left to right, Polonia, who surely must be feeling confidence. They must be feeling that the momentum is with them. After that dramatic turnaround of the third set, they lead 2-1 in this Super 8s final. And they've made typically slow starts in all 3 of the sets so far, Polonia. So, whereas sometimes you can establish the rhythm of a set quite early in a lot of matches, certainly not the case with these two today.
Well, Northumbria once again making the promising start. But we know now by experience never to write off this Polonia side.
Wide it goes cross court off the left hand of Jolanda Zouthuis. And it's a very quick early 4-0 lead for Team Northumbria. Ioroni give the call. Cannavaro delivered. Whitney Phillips being told by referee Joseph Gore that she sort of lifted that one up a bit. She doesn't agree, but she's not sat in that big chair. Huge serve from Phillips, who had a long stare down the court to see if it had catched the back line. It didn't.
centimetres in it though, wasn't far off.
Is that another scooping, lifting action, this time from Alex Wolsey? The referee right on top of those decisions. Again, another fairly questionable one, not as obvious as some that you see.
Well, Polonia draw level. Their fans seem pretty pleased about that. Must be tiring playing the drums for that long, as animated as they are.
You wait, I really do think that this women's match is just a warm-up for them. It will be continuous, non-stop raucousness come the men's final, I'm sure.
Well, did that hit the back line? It did indeed. I'm looking forward to seeing the replay of that, but my first impression was that it just made contact.
Yeah, I thought so too, but Team Northumbria were right on top of it, right underneath it, if you like. And they're looking bemused. They've had a few decisions that they've not been particularly pleased with in this set. But I feel like it's going against them slightly, maybe with the turnaround in the third set and a few tight calls. It's just about how they manage their mentality. Great point. What a reach by Cannavaro. Can Abron kill it for Northumbria? She can eventually.
That point had everything, didn't it? Diving, leaping, and a smash at the end there.
Wolsey and Sharmak just colliding with each other a bit there, just in front of the 3-meter line. Wolsey seems to be okay. Sharmak is just shuffling the moisture off the court more than anything. One-handed set from Alex Wolsey. I think she might have been trying to reach it to tip it over herself, but luckily for her, Christina Dorisman was there as well. 7-7, important point this to see who takes the lead into the first technical timeout.
Kept alive by Northumbria, but eventually unable to keep the point going. Whitney Phillips, the captain, hits the ball straight into the net, and the psychological advantage, as well as the points advantage, and indeed the sets advantage with Polonia at the moment. And
by my account, that is the first time in this match that Polonia SideOut London have led at the first technical timeout, or indeed any technical timeout.
You're right, it's always been Team Northumbria that have set the early pace in all three of these previous sets. So this was interesting. We've not seen Polonia run away into a lead at any point yet, so it'll be interesting to see if they can keep a bit of that momentum. Well, Team Northumbria get us going again with the first point. Eight all then, nothing to separate the two teams in this third and potentially deciding set if things continue to go the way of Polonia. This is the most controlled set I've seen from them so far this match.
No chance was that one staying in court. Fired up off the top of the block. It was set to this near side for Whitney Phillips. And then at the back of the court there, Vajdova trying to keep it alive. There's an absolute racket here at the National Volleyball Centre in Kettering, but 2 touches there means that the point goes Northumbria's way. The lead keeps changing hands as we enter the middle section of this 4th set. I don't think anyone was quite sure which side of the net that was going to drop, and then Phillips and Dorisman clash on the floor. And there's some very agile dodging there by Vajdova. Bit of a messy point on both sides of the net there. Northumbria get a point in front. Polonia level.
It's tense, this third set. Both teams know the significance of it. Incisive play there by Katie O'Brien, picking out a spot. Nothing that Polonia could do about that. Well, they're just exchanging blows at the moment, aren't they?
Yeah, Cannavaro setting it nice and high to give Vajdova as much opportunity as possible. Well, there was no way through for the Polonia middle attack, so Team Northumbria knew that they had the advantage in there and made it count. Cannavaro set quick for Campi. Northumbria were equal to it, and Wolsey set for Katie O'Brien. Northumbria nose back in front. We've got a 2-point gap, would you believe? Haven't had one of those for a while.
It's nearly equivalent to a set in the way this match is going. Again, that precision from Team Northumbria, finding the three parts of the court. It's not necessarily about power, but precision with shots like that. We now see a 3 points lead for Northumbria. Again, that fantastic precision. Christina Derismond just poking the ball over, seeing the free space. Look at all that gap in the court there.
Team Northumbria trailed at the first technical timeout, the first time that's happened in this match, but they've spun it around in the middle third of the fourth set. 16-12 they lead. Great atmosphere here at the National Volleyball Centre in Kettering. The crowd really ramping themselves up. Even the players clapping along to the tune as well.
And would you believe it, the drums have actually got louder. They're playing along with the music, just adding to the atmosphere.
It's like one big party here, but we have got plenty of volleyball still to play here. Polonia win the first point out of the technical timeout through Vajdova. She's been heavily involved in this fourth set. This time it's the captain, Koleva. Again hitting though from the same position, from the outside. The serve goes long by Vajdova, just as Polonia look to close that gap. Still can by no means write them off though, Polonia. They proved in the third set that they can spin it right around at just the right time.
Well, Polonia more than just staying in touching distance of Team Northumbria, just 2 points behind now. And at no point in this match have we been able to write them off with 2 points in it.
Phillips thwarted with the backcourt attack. Over it goes for Koleva, and down it goes from Koleva. 1 point in it.
I can't help but feel like Polonia, with this momentum, could potentially be steamrolling to victory.
I think that's the worry on the Team Northumbria bench, because the timeout has been called. Remember, hashtag Super816 is how you can contact us if you're watching this live stream at home. It's exactly what Beth O'Brien has done, saying, watching our daughter Katie play volleyball from Colorado. Go Team Northumbria. We've got the Phillips family watching in Texas. The Woolsey family even watching in Texas. The O'Brien family watching in Colorado. Really good to hear from you. Really glad that we can bring you this final live from Kettering. It's a very tight one as well. Polonia have closed the gap to just a single point. Marta Campi serving at 16-17. Good reaction first time from Ioroni, but it came straight back from Northumbria. There you see Woolsey and Dorisman working in perfect sync, and then Dorisman alive to the second ball.
Big build-up then, looking ahead at this point, a critical part of the match. The Polonia fans piling on the pressure. And a spot of luck there for Polonia as the ball droops over the net.
Kaleva trying to be clever and lift it over the two-player block. She barely got enough on it. Huge slice of luck for Polonia. How important will that prove? Cannavaro serving, a point in it again, 17-18. The decision given there from a handling error from Alex Woolsey, who looks absolutely mystified by that decision. Referee Joseph Gore has been really hot on picking those up. Almost, it's like a sort of a carrying motion, if you like. But it's leveled at 18-18. Somehow Polonia have got that back as well.
Was that wide? It was indeed. And now Polonia find themselves just 6 points away from victory. 1 point in the lead. And they've turned this third set around, and this has been a reoccurring theme for the whole of this match so far. Never write off Polonia, no matter how far behind they are. They've got the resolve. And a technical timeout then called. And this is a crucial next few points for this match.
This is some spectacle here at the National Volleyball Centre in Kettering, and just a reminder that these two teams will have to go head-to-head once again tomorrow in the second leg of this final. Just think of all the energy that they've expended, all the mental strength that they've displayed, both sides. They've got to come back in less than 24 hours and do it all over again.
So at the end of this match, plain and simply, it's half-time. 19-all the score in this third set. 2-1 to Polonia. A bit of confusion there amongst the ranks at the front of the net there. A couple of sets gone wrong for Polonia. 2019 it is to Northumbria.
They've taken the first 2 points out of the timeout, crucially, Team Northumbria.
That was an important point. 20-all. And every set's been like this, hasn't it? It's just been so close throughout this match. So little separated these two teams.
Again, the set is absolutely perfect from Gaia Cannavaro. Such talent for someone so young. Big block though. Wolsey was in there. O'Brien was there as well to shut out Vajdova. Northumbria edged 1 point in front again. The set through the middle just hasn't worked in the last couple of plays between Cannavaro and Iaroni, and Polonia want a touch from that on the way through. Referee not interested. Timeout called by Mark Kontopoulos on the Polonia bench with the gap 22-20 in favour of Northumbria. 3 points away from taking us to a fifth and deciding set.
Well, let's not forget, in the last set, Northumbria had 3 set points. Polonia battled on, showed their resolve, and in the end won it 27-25. So at no point do we write off Polonia. That's what we've learned from this. Just 2 points in it at the moment. This next point, though, will be crucial. Every point crucial at this stage of the set, at this stage of the match. And Polonia doing enough then to force the mistake from Northumbria. Just a point in it now.
Iaroni and Soudheist were in there. Iaroni has not let go of Soudheist yet. She has now a good 5 or 10 second embrace there. Must have been Soudheist with a telling connection at the block to shut out the Northumbria captain. Northumbria need 3 points to level. Polonia need 4 points to win the first match of this Super 8s final. And it's a one-person block, this time from Alex Vajdova. 22 each.
So tense this as we approach the last few points of the third and potentially deciding set. The Polonia fans doing their bit in the background to try and cheer their team over the line. Northumbria, well, they're still battling away.
Whitney Phillips serving for Team Northumbria. 2 points away from taking us all the way to a decider. The Northumbria blockers shut Vajdova out twice. 3 point here for Polonia. Can they build it in the right way? Cannavaro goes for Vajdova again, and it's somehow still alive. Great work by Northumbria. Can Vajdova get it 4-time lucky? No, it's going to go wide. And it's set point to Team Northumbria, who did exceptionally well to keep that point alive, fighting for everything.
What a rally that was at this stage of the game as well. What a rally. Well, Northumbria were in exactly the same position at this point earlier in the match, in the last set. In fact, 24-21 they were up at that point.
Yeah, Polonia managed to turn that one around and win that set 27-25. So they've shown that they can keep their cool when facing set points. Can Team Northumbria close this out and take us to a decider in the first leg of this Super 8s final? Vajdova gets some serious power behind that. She had 4 goes at finishing off the last point and couldn't convert any of them. This time she did. 1 set point save for Polonia. Still facing another set point here, Polonia. And off the top of the block it goes from the hit of Abron. And Team Northumbria get themselves over the line. 25-23, they take the 4th set, and we are going all the way in the first leg of this Super 8 women's final here at the National Volleyball Centre in Kettering.
And you can't help but feel that on the balance of play, I think this match deserves a 5th set, doesn't it? Both teams having their moments, both teams dominating at different points in the match. Northumbria will have felt hard done by not to have won that 3rd set. They've got the job done in the 4th set. This one has 5th set written all over it. So deciding 5th set will follow in the next few minutes.
Those of you watching this live stream at home, hashtag Super816 is our hashtag on Twitter. Who are you backing for this decider? Polonia SideOut London took the 1st set, 25-23. Team Northumbria took the 2nd set, 25-19. Polonia SideOut London took the 3rd set, 27-25. Team Northumbria took the 4th, 25-23. Very little to choose between the two sides throughout the first leg of this final. So which way will the decider go? Who will hold the advantage at the halfway stage? We're about to find out here. Remember the 2nd leg of this final to come on this live stream tomorrow, scheduled for 1 p.m. although subject to what time the earlier game finishes, which is the Invitational Sitting Grand Prix, East London Lynx versus the Sitting Grand Prix All-Stars. That's first on court tomorrow at 10:30. Provided that's done, then the second leg of this final will take place at 1 o'clock tomorrow. So if you've enjoyed what you've seen so far, we've still got to decide it to come. But there is much more where this came from tomorrow. Remember, one more match to come still today from the National Volleyball Centre here in Kettering. It's the first leg of the men's final. And again, it pits Polonia against Team Northumbria. So the first set goes into the net and hands Team Northumbria the early advantage. It's their captain Whitney Phillips to serve. Remember, first to 15 points, have to win by 2 clear points. It's Vidova crashing her right arm all the way through the ball. The set just too tight to the net for Abram. No chance of getting that up and over and back down.
Well, the question is then, who has the bigger resolve in this final set? Northumbria or Polonia? It's going to be close. We thought this would come to 5 sets. Rob's prediction before the match.
I rarely make predictions as well, so I'm glad that this one's paid off.
Well, you had a shot of the day earlier, now you've got a prediction in this match.
I'm normally very, very happy on my fence, but I just had a feeling about this one.
Very decisive. Every point so crucial now.
Yeah, Polonia just needed too many touches to try and get that back over the net. 2-point advantage for Team Northumbria. Well, that's spot on from Soudheist. Floated it left-handed cross court all the way out to the back corner. Soudheist showing her defensive capabilities there. Northumbria will come again through the middle, through Dorisman. Again, she puts it straight down.
And of course, as you'd expect, the atmosphere steps up a notch in here as the temperature on the court rises a little. It's difficult to really anticipate what's going to happen because Northumbria have been dominant in the early stages of a lot of these sets. Not always working out for them though, but just a point in it at the moment.
Flicked off the block and out of the reach of Karolina Tokarczyk, who flung an arm at it, unable to make a connection. Sharmak serving them with Northumbria, 6-4 to the good. Such a good pass from Georgia Pulu to take all the sting out of the Polonia attack. And it just sets it up for her teammates to finish off the job. 7-4. They'd love to take a 4-point advantage into the change of ends here. They're not going to, though. Kaleva goes straight down the line. Sharmak it was at the back of the court, doing her best to try and keep it alive, and that's why we're just delaying the start of this next point for just a moment as we have the court moppers on to make sure there's no moisture. Potentially dangerous, of course, on a court like this. Polonia wanted a handling error called against Northumbria there. They haven't got it. Got to reset. Their block wins them the point, though.
Nothing that Polonia really could do about that in the end.
But eventually, Team Northumbria do get themselves to the change of ends with their noses in front. 8-6 they lead. Terrific action so far here at the National Volleyball Centre in Kettering today. And we've still got the conclusion of this decider to come. Still the gap just 2 points. I asked earlier who you think is going to win this decider on Twitter. Vanessa saying go Northumbria. We're rooting for you, Christina Dorismond. Michelle Woolsey said it's going to be Team Northumbria. Of course. You would say that. You've got a family member on the court, Michelle. Support on Twitter then for Team Northumbria to win this decider. I think Polonia will have plenty to say about that. That's unfortunate. It just slowed down off the top of the block, which meant that Vaidova was unable to reach it. Excellent again between Cannavaro and Koleva. Cannavaro doesn't mind. Look how tight she is to the net there. Had to readjust. The reverse set once again is absolutely spot on for her captain. Great work from Vaidova to react quickly. Out it goes for Phillips again for Northumbria, but this time there's no getting it back. Northumbria are in front and staying that way.
Well, timeout called then. Northumbria, 3 points to the good at the moment. Polonia, though, always have an answer, don't they?
Here we go then, the final throws of the first leg of this Super 8 women's final. Team Northumbria with the advantage. 11-8 they lead. They fought back from 2-1 behind. And Whitney Phillips just keeps on serving them up. It was right in front of Karolina Tokacic, who couldn't make a telling pass. And now it's Polonia's turn to call a timeout. Mark Kontopoulos. No lack of support inside the arena here for Polonia, that's for absolutely certain. That drum's so big it needs 2 blokes to hit it. Tweet from Ruthie Norfolk using the hashtag Super816 saying, loving the soundtrack. You've either got to love this kind of stuff or hate it. I won't tell you which is my opinion. I'm going to get back on my fence. Northumbria 3 points away from taking the lead at the halfway stage of this Super 8's final.
Oh, she just can't quite get a wrist to it, can she? Kindra Abram desperately reaching for that then. But it just deflects off the top of her wrist. And goes wide. 3 points in it. Well, my instincts would suggest that Northumbria are in a good position and are looking pretty strong, but we just know Polonia will not be beaten.
Yeah, too tight at the net. Polonia can't get it back with 3 touches, and it is match point Team Northumbria to go 1 match to the good in this 2-legged Super 8's final. And they've got a handful of match points with which to do so.
That's 1 gone.
I think Vidova's got something to say about that. As you say, Polonia will not be beaten easily, that's for sure. Neither, they won't be defeated easily either. A young member of the Polonia supporters club there waving a slightly smaller flag. They will battle till the very last point. Katia Gles is on court to serve for Polonia. They've saved 1 match point. Oh, Dorisman had to readjust there. The set wasn't quite to her liking.
I think she just had a bit of a moment there where she didn't realise it was the final hit, and that decision coming at the wrong time.
2 match points saved. Huge block. I think Marta Campi was in there. So was Azra Mahandas. Three match points saved by Polonia. It was Mahandas and Campi. Another timeout called. Northumbria have got their little toe on the winning line. But Polonia are still providing some stubborn resistance, even at this stage. Katia serves. Can Polonia save a fourth match point? They can't. Finally finished off by Christina Dorisman for Team Northumbria. They needed four goes at it rather, but they do take this first leg of the Super 8s final 2016 in 5 sets, 15-12 in the decider. Advantage Team Northumbria at the halfway point.
Well, I feel like on the balance of play, I think the best team have won that first leg. Polonia showing absolute resolve to stay in that. After the first set, they were 1 set to the good. And then in the third set, it looked like Team Northumbria, having won that, were going to push on, but no, wasn't to be. In the end, Team Northumbria perhaps worthy winners. And we'll go again tomorrow. It's finished. Team Northumbria winning 3, Polonia London 2. So Team Northumbria take the slight advantage into the second leg. I'm joined by Whitney Phillips. Whitney, what a close match that was, and especially considering how close it was at the end, you must be thrilled to take the advantage of the second set.
Yeah, it definitely gives us some momentum going in tomorrow, but we know that Polonia always comes out fighting, so we're prepared for another long battle tomorrow.
Even when you were sort of in the ascendancy, Polonia just kept fighting back. You had set points and they came back from them. There's no time you can write them off, is there?
No, not at all. We learned that the hard way in the cup final, and that's that's them. They fight and they fight and they fight, which is awesome. It's awesome to play against.
What's your game plan for tomorrow then? Is it similar to what you've done today?
Yeah, I think it's going to be similar. We'll go back to the hotel, debrief, watch some film maybe in the morning, and see if we need to make any changes.
Okay, Whitney, well, best of luck for tomorrow. Coming up next is the men's final, the final match of the day.
Perfect.
Thank you very much indeed.